What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, the aftermath continues. So I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts and stuff outside of Dudesy, because Dudesy is something. If y'all want to listen to something funny and unique, go listen to Dudesy. It's Will Sasso and Chad Culture, and it's funny stuff. Anyway, has nothing to do with video games. Has to do with AI, but anyway, it's funny. So I listen to Rebel FM again. I listen to that every week. It's a good show. Mainly for Anthony Gallegos, because he's a developer and he was in the press, but now he's a dev, and he has insight and he has a smooth, calming voice, if you will. Arthur Geese is Arthur Geese, and then Matt Chandronay is just the video nerd over there. Anyway, they went through the whole PlayStation showcase, and basically what it boiled down to was that they had a consensus that it felt like a state of play. And while in initially or just intrinsically it doesn't seem like that is an issue, but it is an issue because it was labeled and promoted as a PlayStation showcase, which has some expectations. That's where all the bangers are supposed to come. All the bangers are coming at the PlayStation showcase. All the surprises at the PlayStation showcase. 600 days later, you get a PlayStation showcase. Almost 2 years between showcases. They've had plenty of state of plays. And they're just like, oh, look at this game. Oh, okay, whatever, you know. It's just a little mini deep dive into whatever game, right, at the time. So state of plays and showcases are two different things. And I don't know if Sony realizes that, or they just forgot how to put on a showcase. But the fans, they do know. They know that a state of play is like, it's probably gonna be whatever. It's not gonna be a big deal, whatever. But a showcase, this is supposed to be what E3 is, right? And that's the thing. And even Arthur said he was expecting, you know, the Last of Us multiplayer factions. And you know, later we got the news of why it isn't coming. And you know, when I look at it, and what they had kind of said in the show is that this PlayStation showcase illustrated what the new Sony is. This is what the new Sony is. And a lot of fans don't like the new Sony because it is emulating Xbox. Xbox has been doing this all last generation. They started last generation. That's their MO. That's how they've been rolling forever. The only difference is Xbox made Game Pass, which is more popular and powerful. Well, more profitable, I would say, than PlayStation Plus, whatever iteration you want to call. This new PlayStation is not what the fans want. The hardcore fans, the Ponies and Donkey Unicorns, they don't want this because it is emulating Xbox for what they've been doing for years. And remember when I said, and I've continuously said this throughout the years, that Sony or PlayStation, I'll just say PlayStation, doesn't have a unique thought or idea in their whole company. They look at what's going on and they copy what's most successful. And Anthony gave it to him. He was like, whose idea was it to do all these games as service? Don't they look at the market and see that it's hot fire trash? Don't they see all the failures? I mean, they should look at their own history with these multiplayer games. It's like not even a games as service, multiplayer games, and they don't have luck. All of them, they don't have one running right now. That's why they're scrambling to get 10 going, but they canceled a couple of them already. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but it's like they don't, it's like they're not smart or something. And that's what kind of Anthony Gallegos, he kind of mentioned that who is the dumbass who thinks this is a good idea to do all these games as service games? And the problem is that the way that Sony has been operating for the past, since the end of PlayStation 3 generation, they can't do it. I said it before, Sean Layden saw the writing on the wall. He said, we cannot sustain this type of production. We can't do it. It's too much money. And you're seeing it. I know I've said this before, but you're seeing it in their games. And I think Anthony mentioned it, and I think Arthur mentioned it, that they are, Sony's first party output are like mostly sequels, right? And the sequels are just expansions for the most part. God of War was basically an expansion that they made bigger. You know how you make a game that is a sequel cheaper? You just take the old game and you switch a little bit of stuff around, same engine, same, just make it a little prettier, and that's it. And that's what they did. They did it on God of War. They did it on Horizon, I guess, maybe. And they definitely did it on Spider-Man. You look at Spider-Man, I keep looking at Spider-Man, I'm like, and every time I listen to somebody talking about it, they're like, oh, it's gorgeous, oh, I'm gonna play it. But Spider-Man, it's a known quantity. And that's what Sony's running into. They're running into the been there, done that, the diminishing returns of how they're operating their games business. You cannot put out all these sequels and expect people to be on it like, oh man, especially as fast as Insomniac's making these Spider-Man games, it's not sustainable without losing quality. And I'm gonna say Spider-Man 2 has lost some quality, because I can't even say quality, I'm so tired. Because there's a GIF out there on Twitter where Miles falls in he goes in the water and he splashes back up out of the water, and then look at the splashes. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of whack. That's kind of PlayStation 4. And everybody keeps saying that this game looks like it could run on the PlayStation 4. And I don't disagree with them. So this is the problem that Sony's running into. The fact that their Sony showcase, the PlayStation showcase, was supposed to be a roadmap, because in the past, that's what they've always done. They've shown, okay, yo, get hyped for these games coming this generation, probably, hopefully, to be short. And they didn't do that. Well, they did that, but they did it to the dismay of their fans, because the fans didn't want nothing to do with none of those games. Foam stars? Really? It's really bad. It's bad. It's bad. And now there's rumors that, oh, they were just holding stuff back. There's another secret showcase coming up. I'm like, okay. The only thing I would say is that they probably have some spots on Jeff Keighley's thing, so maybe they'll have some stuff there. But other than that, and are they going to be super bangers? Like, why would they save the best stuff for Keighley's thing? Wouldn't it make sense, or wouldn't we assume that more people would watch a PlayStation showcase over the Keighley's, or whatever they call it, the Sony, the Summer Game Fest? I would think so, because Sony's a bigger brand than Keighley. So why would they save something bigger for that? Are they gonna say Wolverine for the Keighley's? And how does that work? Does Sony have to pay Keighley, or does Keighley have to pay Sony? I don't know. It's weird. I think Sony has to pay Keighley. But anyway, also, Colin Moriarty was on the Iron Lords podcast, ILP, and there's a bunch of Turboverse TV was on Twitter, like, yo, well, he's on YouTube. He's like, yo, Colin flippity floppies. And I'm not doing any more videos per se on Colin, because he's intelligent, but he's also a fanboy. So he's smart enough to pull the politician card, basically, to act like a politician, to flip-flop, basically. And so what he did was, before, he was like, it's about the games, what point is it? Because he was referring to basically when Phil Spencer said, if you have, big games aren't going to make, people go sell their PlayStations and buy Xbox. And people are they're misconstruing what he was talking about. But I'm not going into that. But anyway, his rebuttals to that was it is about the games. It is about the games, and many people agree with that, and I do agree with that too. Because why would you buy an Xbox if it wasn't for the games? I mean, Game Pass is a pretty good reason without the games, and they've proven that. So honestly, it's like, you're gonna get a game once in a while that's gonna be hot. So in the meantime, $15, and I'm playing all kind of games. So, but anyway, now he's saying that exclusives don't matter. Okay, Colin's full of shit. I just want to say that real quick. Beep it or whatever, I don't care. But I'm just saying, look, the whole backbone and DNA of PlayStation's success has been their exclusives. Where whatever label you want to put on their quality, the quality of their exclusives, that's what has been had people go out and buy these consoles. And the fact that their marketing is pretty good to the point that people believe that they have to go buy a PlayStation 5 in order to play Hogwarts Legacy. That's marketing. Good marketing, get your sales. So, and that's what they thought. They thought it was exclusive. I gotta go get a PlayStation 5 because I can't play this anywhere else. That's what that was. And so exclusives are important. Sony has built their business off of exclusives. Their entire success is based off of exclusives. So when you sit here, Colin the liar, and say exclusives doesn't matter, why is everybody so up on first party exclusives? So maybe there's a caveat there. Maybe he has an out because he said first party. But we all know it is about the first party. And that's why this showcase was a disaster and a failure and a disappointment for all the Ponies and Donkey Unicorns, because they didn't show those first party bangers exclusive that they needed to satiate the hunger of their fans. They showed all of this, free to play or gas games as a service games that nobody wants anything to do with. But that's their plan. That's the future of PlayStation. And look, I told you this generation is going to be interesting, and it is very interesting. And I'm just sitting back with my popcorn. I'm still, this is very interesting. It's hilarious. It's interesting. Now, the only thing that Microsoft has to do, the only thing that Xbox has to do is not mess up, not be lackadaisical, keep going, keep pushing. Yes, be transparent, but also don't promise things that you can't deliver. If you can't, if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Don't say, oh, next 12 months. Don't say that. Don't say that. If you know the game is going to come out, not based off of your fiscal desires, but based off of reality, where the game is in production. You ask the developers, you say, all right, realistically, don't sugarcoat it. Where you at? Worst case scenario, where you at? And base it off of that, not off of, we're gonna, and I understand the balance of budget and time and all that stuff, because if you say worst case scenario, that's an extra 6 months, let's say, extra year, but that's an extra year of funding. So that's money, and that messes up all the books. So I understand all of that, but at the same time, was it Miyamoto who said, you could release a bad game early and it'll always be bad? I mean, I'm paraphrasing because that's not what he said, but the sentiment is there. Don't release a bad game. Wait till it's good. Wait till it's done. That's it. And get your marketing better. I mean, that Twitter, Xbox with the Twitter right after that showcase, that was the best thing they've done in years, and it was better than basically the here's how you share your games. It was better than that because they played off of that whole exclusive thing that all these Ponies and Donkey Unicorns exclude all these bangers, exclusive, right? And then they took 12 of those games that they thought, if Xbox didn't say anything and people didn't know, everybody would have thought all those were exclusives or timed exclusives or some deals or something like that, right? Paid exclusive, whatever, right? They would have thought that. But they were on point right out the gate. Boom. That's a good looking group of game right there. Also on Xbox. Like, come on, son. That was perfect. this is almost like a mirror image of last gen. It's a combination of last gen and PS3 gen, where in the PS3 gen, 360 gen, PlayStation started late, and it took them all generation to catch up. Technically they passed, but only because they sold the PlayStation 3 like 2 years after the Xbox went off sale. They stopped selling the Xbox 360s. They were still selling PlayStation 3s, so they can get that title of, oh, we outsold them that generation. They're so petty. You guys don't look at these things. Well, some of you do, but most people don't look at these things. And I pay attention, and I'm like, they're gonna do the same thing every generation if they need to. If they need to have save face or whatever, and they can look at the history books and say, oh, we outsold them this generation, we outsold them that generation. That's only because you kept selling that piece of hot trash for 2 years afterwards. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. You know, are all these outlets besides IGN, because we already know, and literally, you know, I think it was Arthur who said it. It was like, yo, these IGN people. Oh, it wasn't. I don't think it was them. I think it was. I think I was watching Cold Eastwood and whatever the other guy's name. I can't remember his name. But I was watching. I think they were saying how they were saying how IGN is scared and Sony's the bully of the industry. And I said all these things before. Nobody listens to me though, because I'm a little guy in the big ocean. But yeah. Nobody, like, IGN is scared. IGN doesn't have the balls to say, yo, this was whack. What are you doing, Sony? Because Sony will blackball them. They will be like, no, you're not getting nothing. You're not getting games. You're not getting consoles. You're not getting this, that, and the third. And if IGN wants more people to like IGN, they would be like, okay, let's be real. Let's be honest about what Sony's doing, you know, and they never are. And so I've lost faith. And I know I said before, I like Brian Boitano. Wow, I like Brian Altano, and I like the other dude who looks like Hi-Fi Rush, looks like Shy, Max Scoville. I mean, those are my two favorite dudes on IGN, but because they're funny. But yeah, I have a little faith in those type of outlets where, you know, Gamer Rant, same thing. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself from the last video, but let me know in the comments, are the media or certain like podcasts overreacting or anything, or is this what you feel like as an Xbox gamer or as a PlayStation gamer? Like, as a PlayStation, I want to hear from the PlayStation. Are you guys disappointed in this, whatever it was, PlayStation Showcase? What could they have done? What should they have done? What should they have shown? And, you know, let's pretend, or let's assume that there will be something at the Keighley Summer Game Fest. But, you know, this still isn't a good look. And whatever they do at the Game Fest is not going to erase what they're doing or what the direction they're going into. So, you know, let me know if you think this games as service movement by Sony is going to work. And yeah, that's it. I'll talk to y'all on the next one. I appreciate it. Took the wait.